Welcome into Texans Today, and we have some massive news revolving around the Texans' Week 5 matchup up against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have a lot of injuries, and things just went from bad to worse in Baltimore. We're going to break that down here on the show today. Lamar Jackson, not good news if you're a Ravens fan, and then their injuries on the defensive side, very, very troubling for Baltimore. But this is a massive game for your Houston Texans because in the modern era, 4 NFL teams, 1 in 4 teams, have a 5.9% chance to make the playoffs. 2 and 3 teams, on the flip side, have a 29.5% chance to make the big dance. So if the Texans want to make the playoffs this year, if they want to turn things around, this is going to be a massive, massive week. That's the theme of today's show, massive, here on Texans Today. And if you want the Texans to get a dub this weekend, don't jinx it. We did it last week. It worked. I'm going to do it again this week until we lose again. We're going to like the video for a Texans dub. I'm a superstitious person, and you don't want to be that guy who, next Sunday, next Monday, you look at yourself and you're like, damn, if I only liked that weird YouTube guy's video, the Texans would have won. Maybe you're not superstitious. Maybe you're just a little stitious. Either way, if you want the Texans to get a dub this weekend, hit that thumbs up icon and like today's video. The massive news report. Lamar Jackson will be out this weekend up against the Houston Texans. He suffered a hamstring injury in the Ravens' loss to the Chiefs this past week, and we were all wondering what's going to happen. John Harbaugh came out and said this. There was no way he was going to go back into the game. The injury precluded it. The way I know Lamar, if he could have gone in the game, he would have been in the game. That's how he is. And I'll say this, I don't root for injury, or I don't want to play a team when they're down. Like, I'd like to beat the Ravens at full strength. I'd like for the Texans to go toe-to-toe up against the top teams in the AFC and show their stuff. But the reality is this, Texans fans. We need a win desperately this Sunday. If we want any chance at maybe coming back and winning the division or even making one of those wild card spots, it starts this Sunday in Baltimore. And the Baltimore Ravens have plagued this Texans team for the past 2 years. The last 2 meetings that the Texans have with the Ravens, we've gotten our butts kicked. So this news in particular is massive. Breaking from the Baltimore Sun, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson could be out for up to 2 to 3 weeks and is likely to miss Sunday's game against the visiting Houston Texans with the hamstring injury. 2 sources with direct knowledge of the situation confirmed to the Baltimore Sun on Tuesday. Just minutes before I started filming this, I saw this and I said, wow, this is insane news. I can't even believe it because, the Texans, they've had horrible luck this season with injuries, with just turnovers. Everything has not gone the Texans' way. Could things start to be turning around? Because Lamar Jackson out, that means Cooper Rush will be the starting quarterback for the Ravens this Sunday. His stats up against Kansas City, 9 for 13, 52 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, a 41.1 QBR. And I'm not going to say this is a definite win for this Texans team. It's an ultimate, we already won the game. Because Cooper Rush, he's a veteran in this league. He started games before he's started with the Cowboys whenever Dak Prescott got injured. He won a lot of games there. He's not an incompetent quarterback. The Texans still have to go out there. They still have to produce this weekend if they want to win. So I'm going to ask you this question. If the Texans win this Sunday, if they're able to pull out the dub in Baltimore, will you have hope for this season? Give me a yes, give me a no down in the comment section. If you get hit with the YouTube ad break, all good. Scroll on down and let me know your answer. Yes, I will be back. If the Texans are able to win in Baltimore, move to 2 and 3, that is another step in the right direction. Going into the bye week, you get 2 straight wins going into the bye. Hopefully, you get a little bit more healthy, and then you get prepared for another primetime matchup up against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football, and then you have a home game up against the 49ers. If you can win this game, get good prep, and then hopefully win that Week 7 game, you're sitting at 500 and you control your own destiny moving forward. This is a massive, massive game for this Texans team, and this team, they need it. They need it. They need it. They need it. This team has been down in the dumps. Texans fans, we have been going through it, this roller coaster ride. The Cardiac Texans so far this season have had us at the edge of our seat and then had us very disappointed the first 3 weeks of the year. They need to turn things around, and it starts Week 5 in Baltimore. Now, coming up, Lamar Jackson isn't even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Ravens injury report this week because it is loaded. I'm going to break down their troubles on the defensive side, which actually might help your Houston Texans offense get into a rhythm after they kind of got it second half up against the Titans. I wouldn't be able to do today's show, though, if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors over at Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. My producer, Reed, he loves it too, and I know you will as well. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. And if you want to see, hey, what's a lineup that you're looking at for this weekend? This is what I'm rolling with. CJ Stroud, more than 13.5 rush yards. I'm telling you, Stroud is using his legs more and more this season. So if it's a reasonable number there, I'm usually going to go the more on CJ Stroud rush yards. Danielle Hunter, he's been awesome this year. 0.75 sacks. I think he can take down Cooper Rush in this game, so give me the more on that. Derrick Henry, the one part of this Ravens team that really worries me, whenever he was a member of the Titans, he kind of owned the Texans, averaging more than 100 rush yards per game when playing against the Texans. 78.5. He's struggled with the fumbles, but I still think he'll get some yardage up against this Texans defense. And then Woody Marks. This is a fun one. This is a fun one that Prize Picks likes to throw in. His first rush attempt, 3.5 yards. Do you think he's going to go more or less than that on his first rush attempt? I'm going more because I'm Team Woody. You can too. You can use my lineup or you can make your own. Just do it over on Prize Picks today. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of the players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. So get started today. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups, or you can copy the one that I just showed you. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, let's look at this Ravens defense because, as I mentioned, Lamar Jackson, that's a major blow. That's the biggest injury they have. But on the defensive side, it actually might be a little bit worse than just Lamar Jackson with that injury. First up, now this isn't new news for the Texans. They placed Madubuike on injured reserve last week. He'll miss 4 games at minimum, one of them being this Texans game this week. This is massive because, as I said, Reed's kind of rolling his eyes at me right now. Massive is the name of the game. That's what Madubuike is. 305 pounds. He got a massive payday. See what I did there? A ton of massive on today's show. He's the big guy on the interior. He's their best defensive lineman. Him being out will surely hurt this Ravens defense. As we've seen it the past 2 weeks, the defense hasn't looked good under Zach or their defensive coordinator. All right, let's look at some other injuries. These ones are new. Marlon Humphrey out this week. He got injured in that Chiefs game. He will not be playing up against the Houston Texans. He suffered a calf injury up against the Chiefs. Will miss this Texans game. He's already been ruled out for this Sunday. Another big blow to this Ravens defense. Maybe the Texans receivers can get a little bit more open. This might be the biggest one on the defense for me. Roquan Smith, one of the top linebackers in the National Football League, is also already ruled out for this Sunday's matchup. I mean, you're talking Madubuike, Humphrey, Roquan Smith. If you ask people around the NFL, if you ask Ravens fans, just casual NFL fans, people will probably say those 3 are the best players on this Ravens defense. So you're telling me they're missing their top 3 players and their franchise quarterback? The Texans, they got to take advantage of that this Sunday. And I mentioned 3 of their top players. 2 of them got injured this past Sunday. So I'm going to ask you folks at home, what do you think is the bigger loss? Is it Marlon Humphrey, type MH, or is it Roquan Smith, type RS? Let me know down in the comment section, who do you think the bigger loss is for the Baltimore Ravens? Let's go to another injury. And this one's a little bit questionable right here. Kyle Van Noy. I asked our Ravens host, Joey Peterson, what's up with Kyle Van Noy? He said, I don't think that he plays this week, but he's listed as questionable. He was limited in practice this past Friday before being ruled out up against the Chiefs in week 4. Let's see if he's able to do it. Hamstring injuries, very fickle mistress there. You don't know what you're going to get with those soft tissue injuries. So we'll have to see. We'll look at the injury report throughout the week to see how Kyle Van Noy progresses in that injury. Another guy, which I was surprised that he was questionable because Nate Wiggins was actually carted off the field this past Sunday. He's listed as questionable, though. He had an elbow injury. The early round pick for the Ravens out of Clemson has done pretty well. 1 interception, 4 pass breakups on the year so far for Nate Wiggins. This secondary for the Ravens might be without a couple guys. Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, that's 2 of their top corners already. Texans wide receivers, maybe it's time for them to feast. And then another guy on the defensive line, Travis Jones, defensive tackle. He's another guy who is questionable for this Sunday's matchup, was inactive in week 4. We'll have to look throughout the week on the injury report whether or not Travis Jones will be good. He's been sidelined with a knee injury, so we'll have to see whether or not these guys will be able to get in up against the Texans, or if the Texans are going to have a ton of luck and hopefully be able to pull out a dub this Sunday. That's all I have for you on today's show, folks. Had to make a quick video for the breaking news. Biggest thing, Lamar Jackson, more than likely going to be out this Sunday. Can the Texans take advantage and get their second win of the regular season? If you want to hit me up on Twitter, you can do so at Jeremy Chugs. And if you made it to the end of today's video, you're an absolute real one. And hey, I must be doing something right. So if you're not subscribed, go down and hit that sub button. We'll be live on Wednesday, live watch party on Sunday. Don't miss a thing. It's 100% for free. So all you got to do, go down and hit that sub button.